Hello, I'm Nick Kramarczyk. I like Volkswagens for some reason.
Who's there? Connecting rod. That's good.
Years and years ago, the want to build the next level of show car type of thing led me to wanting to get an interior upholstered. And I brought some GL seats to a local guy that had done some stuff for a friend of mine. Gave me a really good price. It was like, okay, cool. And then like a year went by and they were still sitting where I dropped them off at his shop. And he was all like, oh, blah, 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 which no fault of his own. He had gotten sick or something. And then I brought it to a different guy locally and was just dumbfounded by the price. So I ended up deciding that I could do it myself. I did a bunch of sewing in high school. Same basic idea. Decided something was too expensive to make my own giant pants.
Oh, like the UFO pants?
Yeah, because those pants were like $90 to $100 for a pair of UFOs. It's maybe $30 worth of fabric and a couple of hours of time. So I mean, I've always been into sewing, I guess. Like 3 years ago, I got a industrial machine and it changed my world.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Going from like a Susie
Going
homemaker.
home gamer sewing machine to an industrial walking foot machine. Just way better, and it's like easier to use.
Start doing thicker materials.
You can do thicker materials. You have a more consistent finish. My philosophy has always been, if you can do it yourself cheaper, it's worth a shot.
I would hate to pay a premium price and have it come out not ideal.
Yeah.
If it's gonna come out poorly, I'd rather it be my fault.
Yes, which the same way with the paint. Like I did the paint on both these cars myself, and
Okay,
it's all of the shortcomings and missteps are my fault, and I'm okay with that. I've got friends who have spent $7,000, $8,000 on a paint job, and then when it's fucked up,
Yep.
what are you gonna do? The shop's already repainted it once, and it's still meh. The really, really nice stuff is really expensive. friends don't let friends put bike throttle bodies on Volkswagens. It's not,
Or carbs.
or carbs. It's not the same. Buy a kit that goes with the motor.
But what would you say is the biggest reason not to go with
The
bike carbs or
because
ITBs?
they're not spaced for like separation between the ports. So you end up having to either extend linkages and then like brace out stuff. You can weld them to a factory manifold, but then you've got flow path issues, and or you can use couplers and then you've got leaking issues. The like drivability and tunability change between a cob together bike setup and the like Gen V direct to head bolt on stuff was just, oh, okay, that's why this is this.
That's why this is three
That's
times
why,
the cost.
yeah, that's why this is, and it's really not that all that much more expensive. Like,
Well, yeah, by the time you're done fiddling.
yeah, when I was done fiddling with the Gixxer stuff, it was like $900 to $1,200 worth of stuff just to get it to work. I bought these from Badger 5 and it was like $1,600 for the full setup. It's like, I ran into heat issues, overheating issues on my way up to Vag Fair 2 years ago in Maine. It ended up just stopping on the highway because it got so hot. Next day, it seemed okay. Drove it home, had some heat issues, but it was a cool day. It kept okay. And then when I got home, I was like, I'm gonna pull it apart and see what was wrong. Found a crack at the bottom of cylinder 1, right at the base. So it was just feeding air into the coolant passage and then would airlock the pump, blah, 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 blah. I had always said when I built the 9A that if I were to do it again, I would build an ABF. Chatted with Colin at TT for a very long time, and we came up with this motor. It's a ABA bottom end, Wasner, it's their Wasner pistons, SuperTac rods. Most of the stuff from the head is the same from the 9A, and then all the little odds and ends to make the ABF work. I then sourced all the factory covers for the ABF, and then ran into height issues because the ABA bottom end, it's like 15 or 12 millimeters taller than the 9A. I ran into hood clearance issues with the velocity stacks, all sorts of stuff that like nitpicked it. And then last winter, I made a whole new harness from the fuse box forward of the car. All new pins, all new connectors, like not a single solder joint in the whole harness. All of my signals are beautiful. It's tunable now.
Now it's running
It's
nice.
a world of difference when you realize that, oh, my TPS signal's not getting a good ground, or
It's all a little bit here, a little bit there. That all adds up to it just
Yeah.
not
Yep.
working as it
yeah.
should.
It's decades of me learning and splicing things together because I've had the car 15 years. It's been on ITBs the whole time, on Megasquirt the whole time. So it's like old tech, sort of, from way back when, that has been modified here and there and added to and adjusted, lengthened, and so on and so forth.
Patched up,
Patched,
repaired.
yeah. So now it's all new stuff, all continuous wire. It's nice to have nice wires. So I'm always constantly fiddling with it. The way I look at both of the vehicles, I'll come out here and like look around at every angle and be like, oh, that's kind of ugly. And then I'll go in and I'll polish that bolt. Or like, you see a lot of these cars that you see on the internet that look amazing, and you get down behind stuff and you're like, but what about that?
Yeah.
And like, what about that? What's this? And it's like, I will look at it at every angle and be like, oh, that's ugly, and then try and fix it.